Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna start this video on a positive note because starting from today in Belgium, the cinemas, the gyms, the bars are open. So it's been a really long time. It's been like an eternity since everything was closed here. But now it seems like the lockdown is finally over. So yeah, let's start this video on a positive note. And the second thing is that I discovered recently on YouTube Harry Mack. Nothing to do with photography, nothing to do with street photography, but if you're into freestyle or if you're into hip hop, you should definitely check out Harry Mack on YouTube. I'm gonna put the links in the description below of this video. Or simply, if you're having a bad day, just go and listen to Harry Mack. The man is a legend, and it's like therapy. Let's go back to photography. So in street photography, we have two major techniques. The first one is the fishing technique, and the other one is the hunting technique. And in this video, I'm gonna show you some images that I took using this technique, and I'm gonna explain you the benefits of using this technique and why you shouldn't use too much this technique. But let's start by showing you a picture that I took recently in Antwerp. So this shot here. Why this picture? Actually, when I took this picture, I knew that it would perform very good on Instagram. It would perform better than my other pictures on Instagram, and I was aware of this when I took this picture. Or people that commented the video said that this was the best picture of the video, and for me it's a good picture. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's still a man walking into a frame. The fact that the person in the picture wears a hat, it's a more mysterious way, and hats and umbrellas are like photogenic, and they will probably give you likes on Instagram. So basically I noticed that there's a pocket of light there, and I decided to wait for a subject to come in the frame. And I knew actually that that's the part of the city where's the Jewish community in Antwerp, and most of the people wear hats and traditional clothes. So I captured this silhouette, and as I said previously, the image is eye-appealing. It's nice, but at the end, if you're trying to judge this a little bit more objectively, is just a man passing into the frame. I set up my frame, I set up my exposure, I had time to position myself, then I took the shot. So basically using the fishing technique, where you wait for the subject to come into a frame, it allows you to set up the frame, to set up your exposure, like to compose your shot, and this is basically the fishing technique. You find a place that's nice, and then you can wait till the subject enters in the frame. It's a passive approach, so it's not like the hunting approach when you're actively looking for your subject. It's not my favorite technique, to be honest, but if you're starting, or if you're a beginner in street photography, this can be very helpful, because you're not interacting with your subject, or you're interacting less with your subjects, and especially if you're shy on the streets, you don't have to be confrontational. People will probably not noticing you. People will probably think that you're taking pictures of a building, or I don't know. But it's a less intrusive way of taking pictures in the streets. And as I said previously, if you're a beginner, it's a very good technique to start on. And now let me just give you some tips on how to improve at this technique, so being better at fishing in the streets. Let's take this image that I took in Antwerp as well. So this was at the train station in Antwerp, and I was probably waiting here for 10 minutes, solid 10 minutes, I guess, if I'm not wrong. And the woman that you see, the subject there, she was talking on the phone, and she was like going front and going in the back, and she was constantly moving. So I had to wait. This is the first thing that you have to keep in mind when you're doing this technique. You have to be patient. That means that you can stay in a place for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't know. It really depends on you. It depends on how much you want the shot, and if the shot is good. And this is the first tip. If you're doing this, you have to be really patient. And I know it's easy to say, yeah, I can wait 10-15 minutes, but you're gonna see that's really long to wait 15-20 minutes in the same place. Sometimes nothing happens, sometimes you don't have a subject, sometimes yeah, it can be frustrating. My biggest concern with waiting on the street and doing this technique is that I feel that when I'm waiting in a place to take a picture, I feel that I'm losing shots in other places. So I say to myself, I can be productive doing other shots, hunting or staying in other places. So you have to just see how much time you will be able to spend in the waiting for a subject to enter the frame. But once you set your frame and you've done your settings, basically there's an easy job. You have just press the button when the subject enters into the frame. Yeah, for this shot as well, I took like I don't know, 30-40 shots, different shots. I tried to see if I don't have another subject on my left side, so I was constantly looking. If you're waiting, just don't be like extremely passive in your waiting. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but try to be active. Try to find maybe, I don't know, things that go into the frame better, or try to find other subjects, or try to, I don't know, to step away, go back, change your point of view. Things like that will help you maybe to get a better picture. So basically this is my first tip was like, if you're patient, be patient and get your shot. Stay there and take your time, take the shot. The second tip would be like to try different approaches, try different positions, try to move on the left, try to move on the side, try to put your camera on the ground, try different perspectives, different subjects as well. So let's get to the next shot. This is a picture that I took in Antwerp as well. So yeah, Antwerp is becoming my favorite city in terms of street photography in Belgium. So for this shot this shot I took it under the bridge in Antwerp, and I took several shots before. I guess I took, I don't know, 10, 15 shots before this shot, and actually I was waiting for somebody to pass in just on the concrete thing that's going down from the top, and I wanted to have just a subject there, so just one person that comes into the frame, and to be at the point where it's on the same level with the concrete thing coming from the top. So I took a couple of shots, and I took even a shot with a lady that was walking there, and I felt like it was a good shot. It was an okay shot. But then I decided to wait more and take more shots. So this happened at a certain point. There were two subjects in the frame, and one started to run, and the other one was also walking fast, and like now we have like a sort of a confrontation between the two subjects, and the picture looks more dynamic. It looks more interesting than having one subject. So I tried to I got as many shots as I could there, and that's my third tip. You have to wait and take as many shots as you can in a place, because you never know which subjects will gonna enter in the frame, and some of the subjects are more interesting. Some of the subjects, they wear different clothes, they have different vibes. They can bring more to a picture than other subjects. So try, if you're staying there, try to take as many shots as you can, and then you can decide at the end which one works better for you. So let's go to the next picture. This picture was highly appreciated as well in the comments, and people seem to like this picture. But at the end of the day, this is a simple picture with a young man walking with a telephone in his hands, and that's about all of it. Another tip that I can give you here: if you're doing the fishing technique, try to find interesting spots. Try to find spots that are architecturally interesting, or you can play with reflections or shadows or stuff like this. Try to fish in a place that has a good light, or it's more interesting and it's less plain. Some spots have more potential for street photography than other spots that are let's say plain, or without any good light or without any architecture. So try to work with colors, try to work with architecture, try to work with shadows. Try to find an interesting place where you can enhance the participation of a subject in the frame. Let's put it this way. Sounds philosophical. So this is another shot from Antwerp, and I was waiting there with my mate Thibaut, and we saw this building that looks very geometrical, and it has like it was very plain white, and we decided to wait there and take some shots with the people that are passing by. At a certain point, somebody passed with he was carrying a chair, and the things that you can also do to improve your fishing technique is to create contrast in your pictures. So another tip, it would be, I don't know exactly which one is it, 5, 6, I don't know. It would be to try to create contrast in your pictures. So try to shoot at sunset if you find a nice location. Try to get some silhouette involving. It will give a little bit more depth to your images. It will be the images will be looking more nicely. So having a little bit of contrast, they look punchy, they look better, and they're less regular, let's say. Yeah, it's a very similar shot. It just was a pocket of light there, and same thing. It was a lady passing by with blonde hair, and you have some colors there, and just a strip of light. And you can play in order to learn more about street photography. You can also take pictures throughout the windows and try to play. When you're doing this, you have plenty of time. You have your frame well set before the subject is entering. So try to experiment, try to play a little bit, and the more creative you get, the better it is. Good. Yeah, another tip if you're a beginning or if you're starting street photography would be try to make a connection between your subject and the background. If you're staying in a place, try to see what works better in terms of your background as well. Having a connection between the subject and your background or the foreground, it will give more depth to your pictures, and it will be more interesting than a simple shot with a person walking in the frame. So try to be as creative as you can. Try to work with posters. Try to work with lights. Try to work with expressions. Try to work with everything that street delivers. Play with light. This is another very good tip, because you have the time. You have the time to set up your camera. You have the time to set up your exposure. You have the time to think how a person will affect, or how a subject will affect the frame when he's entering. You have the time to take a couple of shots before your shot that you want. So you really have the time to see what exposure you want to use, what lights you want to highlight or not. Same here. It was just a pocket of light there, and I wanted to have a subject that's entering in the frame, and otherwise I just used the Lightroom to deepen a little bit the shadows and the blacks, and that was it. So nothing crazy, but it's a technique that, imagine that I would have a more interesting subject, probably the picture would be even better. I saw this shadow of the tree, and I said to myself I would wait till somebody passes in the frame, so I'm gonna take a nice picture. After taking, I don't know, 5, 7 pictures with subjects in the picture, I decided that it works better. So this is my personal opinion. It works better for me just to have a shadow, so don't have the subject. Same shot here. I was waiting. I saw this shadow that looked interesting, so I was just focusing on the shadows. So it's another tip. It would be to anticipate a little bit, even though you have time to do your homework and to do your frame and stuff like this. Try as well to anticipate. Try to see how, I don't know, a lady with a purse would work there, or something, I don't know, a shadow of an animal, of a dog, for example, would work in the frame. It would probably work better than a human being. So try to experiment, try to anticipate a little bit the things. And now let's go to the negative part of using this technique. And this is my personal opinion, so these are my personal views. I may be wrong, I may be right, but I'd really love to have your feedback in the comment section below. So for me, this technique, it works really good if you're a beginner, but you don't want to do it, or you don't want to overdo it. There are too many pictures on the internet with people walking on a frame and nothing happens. People are watching their phones, or people watching down. that's my problem with this kind of pictures. Yeah, so as a beginner you're gonna find some comfort in this technique because it allows you to be further away from the subject, so you're not interacting with subject, you're not bothering anybody in the streets, especially if you're shy, especially if you're a beginner. But the problem is that you're gonna find a comfort in this technique, so it will allow you to take pictures without interacting with people. So yeah, basically you're gonna find a comfort, and you're gonna do this kind of picture, and you probably never go hunting. So that's not a very good idea to do only this type of street photography. It's good if you're a beginner, but don't overdo it, and try to get more depth in your pictures. Try to find something that's interesting and that can correlate maybe with the background, with the foreground. Try to be creative when you're doing such pictures. It's a very good technique. I'm still using it, don't get me wrong. I use both of the techniques. I like both of the techniques, but ideally would be at a certain point to be more active and to hunt more, to go more for more creative pictures than this. This is my major problem with this kind of with this technique. That was it. Thank you for watching. But I would really love to have your feedback in the comment section below. Would really love to hear your thoughts regarding this technique, and if you're using it, how do you use it, and if we're on the same page regarding this technique, when basically are lots of people that are overdoing this and nothing happens in the shots. But would love to hear your thoughts, yeah. And if you find this video helpful, feel free to give me a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe to this channel. And see you very soon. And if you want me to do a couple of more videos like this, I don't know, judging my pictures maybe, or talking more about street photography techniques, or giving tips, feel free to let me know in the comment section below as well. Yeah, and your feedback is always appreciated, so thank you for being here.